BBC Coventry and Warwickshire.
Foleshill is one of the most amazing places.
Just take the lid off and look at what's underneath.
Something new happens every day.
A group of soldiers are touring a factory in Coventry today which makes body armour in order to say thanks to the workers there. The factory is MP Aerospace, and BBC Coventry and Warwickshire is helping set up the visit as part of our series looking at life in Foleshill. Joining me in the studio is Lance Bombardier Nigel Greening, who says his body armour saved his life, and Roger Medwell, the MD of MP Aerospace, who the company is responsible for making the stuff. Gentlemen, good morning. Thanks for being with us, to the both of you. Can I start with you, Nigel, first of all? What's your story? What happened then? What happened to you? You were in Afghanistan, weren't you?
Yeah. Basically, we were on a sort of a routine patrol, and we got into a bit of trouble. And as we were moving to cover, I was struck, and it was sort of at the time I didn't know what had happened at the sort of exact moment, but straight afterwards, I'd realised something had struck me, and I sort of put it to the back of my mind and carried on with what I was doing. It was a strange experience, to be honest. It was a bit.
When you say where did this happen? On
the back,
on the back of you,
yeah,
so right in your torso.
Yeah.
And you just felt like a dull thud kind of thing.
It was kind of like a punch mixed with a slap, and I fell to the floor, sort of a little bit winded. Got back up and sort of, what was that? And carried on.
Okay.
There was no protracted pain or anything like that. It was just sort of instant slap, thud, get up and carry on.
Mind you, you're in the middle of something which is making your adrenaline race, isn't it? Of course. So you're not under normal circumstances, are you?
No. You've got a task to do. You've got to get yourself out of trouble. So you focus on that and you carry on. So
you got out of that safely. That all came to an end. When did you realise that what had happened was something more serious than a slap mixed with a punch, as it were?
Is when we got back to our base location. I sort of took all my equipment off, and one of the lads was like, "You should have a look at that. You should really, you want to see what's happened." I took it off, and I admit it was a mixture between sort of tears and laughter, because I was like, "Oh, okay, something big's just happened here, and my body armour has sort of, just saved my life."
What did you see when you took it? I mean, presumably, is it like, for the layman listening this morning, is it like a bulletproof vest kind of
basically
thing? Yeah. You took that off. What did you see?
I saw sort of there was obvious damage to the back plate, but obviously nothing serious, and it stopped and done its job correctly. And yeah, it was sort of there was damage, but it wasn't serious damage at all. So I sort of just indented for a new plate and carried on.
Another day at the office. No sign of the bullet then? You didn't find the bullet that it had stopped?
No.
I mean, it's mind-blowing, isn't it? You say a mixture of tears and laughter, because, you thank God I'm alive.
Yeah.
My God, what could have happened if I wasn't wearing this? I mean, it's mind-blowing almost, isn't it?
Yeah, also the what-ifs went through my head, but my main sort of, I stopped myself and said, well, the what-ifs didn't happen, so, it's just sort of pick yourself up and again carry on after that. You just sort of, nothing else happened, it was stopped, so I've got to carry on my day.
And when you get a new one, do you get to keep the old one?
No, it's sent off for analysis.
Because you'd want it framed, wouldn't you, really? I mean, that's you would want to keep it, wouldn't you?
It was my initial thought. I was like, I'm going to frame that, I'm going to put it up in my room. But that had to be sent off for analysis, so that to obviously prove it had stopped and how it worked and all that.
Well, do you know what? It gives a whole new meaning to what you did. What did you do at work today, dear? Doesn't it really? For both of you, really? Because listening to that is Roger, the man who is responsible. His company, of course, is responsible for making this equipment. How often do you get to meet people like Nigel?
Well, we do get them coming from time to time. Not very often, but to have Nigel's old battery coming today, it's going to be great for the workforce to hear the stories.
Does it get you emotionally? I mean, I'm getting a bit emotional now thinking about the thing, and you just think, well, there's a young man here who's. I mean, let's not beat about the bush. Here's a young man whose life has been saved by what your people have done. It's incredible, isn't it, to think?
Yeah, they're moving stories, particularly those who've got kids, and we have had people come round who've got children, and at the end of it, addressing our manufacturing team, he was really solid all the way, broke down, and a lot of my girls, quite a lot of Sikh women there with the long dresses, were all there around him, cuddling him, But, it is moving when you realise that you've saved someone's life, and, he's got to carry on to see his kids.
And somebody told me that in the work areas in your premises, people keep cuttings of press cuttings of my helmet saved my life, or my body armour saved my life, or whatever it is, and there's obviously that connection there, isn't there? I mean, it's going to be great to meet Nigel and the rest.
It's going to be wonderful, and his whole team, because it could have been any one of his team that
could have been
had suffered that. And
to say thank you, I was saying earlier on in a kind of in a tongue-in-cheek way, you know, you were brought up properly, obviously, to say thank you, but it's a big thank you, isn't it? Thanks for saving my life.
Basically, I mean, it's something that initially I was suggested to have done, but it wasn't sort of organised. It couldn't be organised at the time, just after my tour. But now I've got the opportunity. It's amazing. It's awesome.
When did you kind of have that moment where you thought I'd like to do that? I would like to say thank you to these people.
I was told that I could sort of go and view my plate, but I realised it was at the wrong place. It was at the analysis area, which is a complete different. It's near where I work, but. I sort of wanted to go and say thank you when I heard about, obviously, the fabricators a UK base. So again, I didn't know where, but and obviously this was a recent sort of development coming here, and I was like, definitely, I'll come along.
And Roger, you make body armour, you make helmets as well. You make the iconic helmet for the British Army, don't you?
Absolutely,
of course, recognised all over the world.
Yeah, the Mark 7, and we've been making those. We were the first in Europe, the UK, to make composite helmets, going from steel to composite. Which in 1983, the GS Mark 6 went into service, and we've been associated with the Army ever since that day.
And when you're talking about composite, I mean, presumably it's lighter, it's better for the guys and girls to use, it's easier to use in the field as well, is all of that.
Yeah, you can stop this threat, you know, with steel, but it's 1/3 of the weight, this plate. So with composites, everything's lighter.
How many of you are heading up with us today? How many are you going up to today?
I believe it's sort of in the region of 15 guys. So
own troop carrier, or will you just go on the bus, or what do you get about with?
I think they've got a minibus, so on the way up.
It is amazing, and of course it'll have a resonance for everybody who's in the troop, of course, isn't it? You know, that's the whole thing. Is it's your story particularly, but of course there, but for the grace of God, go all of them.
We've got a mixture of guys that have been on operations and guys that haven't. So for the guys that have been, it'll be an eye opener and a sort of. A good way to say thank you as well, even though they haven't had the same thing. But for the guys that haven't been away, it'll give them an insight into how their protective equipment is made, and they'll have more of an appreciation for it then.
Two heroes in the studio at once. I can't believe it. It's amazing. So you're packing
He's a hero on the right.
Well, I think you both are, and the people who work for you as well are heroes as well.
Very dedicated. They're very
incredible, aren't they?
Very dedicated team.
You stepping down, so you're 68, do you?
Indeed, I am.
Man, you look good on that. Well, doesn't he look good? He looks fantastic. But you're going to retire or take a back seat?
No, I'm going to carry on. But the new man will be going in, who's been with me 24 years, so he's going to do a really good job.
Well, regards to the rest of the gang as well, I hope they have a fabulous day, and to the rest of your troop as well, I hope they have a fabulous day, and give them our best way in all the work that they do for us. We are proud and we are pleased that you do that.